So this is my blue-green land creature control deck. On TCG Player, it's 23 bucks. So that's a good budget deck right there for 60 cards. Alright, so we'll start off with the instance. We got Consuming Vortex. It's an arcane instant, so that is important for it to be arcane, because it will add to the deck's ability. Return target creature to its owner's hand. So that's one way we control, how many creatures your opponent has. And you're of course taking advantage of summoning sickness to slow them down. Unsummon, return target creature to its owner's hands. It's a 1-drop, so it's the same thing as Consuming Vortex. So artifacts, we have Crystal Shard. You can play it as in instant speed by paying 3 colors, tapping it, return target, or paying 1 blue, tapping it, return target creature to its owner's hand unless its control pays 1. Sometimes when somebody plays a creature, they usually tap out. Or just by them knowing that this is on the field and then they want to make sure the creature hits the field, or just make sure the creature stays on the field, they'll try to keep 1 mana up just so they can keep the creature on the field. Which is good for you, because that just means they'll probably make less plays. Instead of playing something and then playing something else, they'll play only one thing at a time, which is always good to slow your opponent down. You want them to keep as many resources in their hand, less on the field. Now, that is to return creatures, right? How do we control land? Well, with Life Spark Spellbomb. Life Spark Spellbomb will turn any creature into a land. Any land into a creature. Any land into a creature with 2/3 toughness, right? Since now the land is a creature, you can return it to the hand with Crystal Shard, or Unsummon, or Consuming Vortex. I have to point out that there are some more universal cards that I prefer to play that's good against planeswalkers, artifacts, enchantments, things of that nature, but they do have the stipulation that states non-land permanents, right? So I had to focus specifically on creature cards that deal with creatures specifically. Even if a land is a creature, it deals with the creature part and ignores the land part. So that's why I don't use stuff like Into the Royal or Disperse or anything of that nature. Aether Spellbomb, return target creature to its owner's hand. So you can combo Aether Spellbomb with Life Spark and return one of your opponent's lands to their hand. You can also, of course, take advantage of Life Spark's Spellbomb ability to turn a land into a creature, to turn one of your lands into a creature and then attack with the land and deal your opponent some damage. So that's relatively useful, especially late game because the way it works is that if you have a land that's been on the field for at least a turn, been on the field since your last turn, once it becomes a creature, it's not affected by summoning sickness, therefore it can attack, so you'll take advantage of that. Most of the time, once you top deck and summon a creature, you can't do much. But if you top deck Life Spark, and it's like, alright, pay 1 to cast it, then pay 1 green to turn one of your lands into a creature, that creature can, that land can attack that turn. So that's useful when you're late game. But just in general, being able to turn your opponent's lands into a creature. And let's say you turn it into a creature and you're attacking it, and you turn their land into a creature, they might be in a position where they feel like blocking with the land. So they'll block with the land, now you kill the land, right? So that's one way of getting rid of the land. But typically you'll just be bouncing the land. so that's what will help you have land control, either spell bomb, creature control. For the lands that you'll be playing 4 Buried Ruins. This will allow you to pay 2 to sacrifice it to return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. This will allow you to reuse any of your spell bombs, get back your crystal shard. It is the land, so you can turn it into a creature, of course. You can tap at 1 colorless mana. This deck has a lot of artifacts, so that colorless mana would be useful for them. 8 forests, 8 islands, gotta have that blue-green mana to play your cards. Then for the creatures, we have Eternal Witness. When Eternal Witness comes into play, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's a way of, reusing anything, recycling. And it's green, it's a 2/1, but the main thing is the fact that you can get the stuff back. You can play this, get back in an unsummon or a consuming vortex, and then use Life Spark, and then bounce a land and whatnot. So you can make some plays that way. Mirror Retriever. Whenever a Mirror Retriever is put into a graveyard from play, return another target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. And of course, you can do the Mirror Retriever loop, where one goes to a graveyard, you can grab the other copy in the graveyard, add it to your hand, and every turn you can always cast a Mirror Retriever and always have something to block with, something to always have a monster on board, a creature on board, which is always important. Scrap Trawler, same as Mirror Retriever, it goes to a graveyard, you can grab another artifact. If it itself goes to a graveyard, you can grab an artifact that costs 2 or less from the graveyard. You can obviously loop this with a Mirror Retriever, because when this goes to graveyard, grab the Mirror Retriever, play the Mirror Retriever. When Mirror Retriever goes to graveyard, get back the Scrap Trawler, play the Trap Scholar, and on and on and on. If you have the Scrap Trawler on the field and a Mirror Retriever on the field goes to the graveyard, you'll trigger Scrap Trawler's ability, as well as you'll trigger the Mirror Retriever, so you can grab any artifact in your graveyard with Mirror Retriever, and then with Scrap Trawler's ability, anything that costs 1 or less artifact in your graveyard, and add it back to your hand, so you get to maximize your value, the value of your cards. We have Soil Shaper. It's a 1/1 spirit, one green, 1 of anything. It's a spirit, so that's important, right? Because whenever you play a spirit or an arcane spell, and Consuming Vortex is an arcane spell, target land becomes a 3/3 creature until end of turn. It's still land. So obviously you want to play this and then keep this on the field. And when just by playing it, you already will turn a land into a creature. You could turn one of your lands into a creature and attack with it if you want, but you typically want to turn your opponent's lands into a creature and then use unsummon. So for 3 energy, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 of anything, you can bounce one of your opponent's lands. So by your 3rd turn, you can already start bouncing lands to your opponent's hand. Or let's say you already went turn 1, you did Aether Spell Bomb, and then still have to do turn 3, because turn 2 you'll turn the land to a creature, but you won't have the extra mana necessary to play Aether Spell Bomb, obviously. So it's more of a 3rd turn play, but it's something to play with. We have Aether Adept, which is a 2/2 creature. When Aether Adept enters the battlefield, return target creature to its owner's hands, which is very useful, especially if you already use Life Spark to turn their creature, their land into a creature, and then bounce their land back to the hand. You'll do more creature control than land control, but being able to bounce a land once in a while will be very helpful to you, because you always want to be 1 land up on your opponent even get to the point where you're 2 lands up on your opponent, and and keep going, bouncing your opponent's creatures as well as their lands. It's just going to make it really hard for them to play the game, and that's the whole point. That's why it's control. Make it hard for them to play the game. You don't have to counter everything. Let them play, right? Let them play something. You just bounce it right back. You know what I mean? The thing about regular control or counter control is that it's about your opponent makes a play and then you respond to it. I like to the control I prefer is I mean I like that version, of course, but I also like the idea of like, well, if you already have something in play, let me get rid of it. Bouncing it back to the hand is almost the same thing as if I countered it, but it's the counter after the play, right? You already played it. Now I'm making you undo the play, right? So I'm rewinding all your plays. So for $23 you can have this type of power. And that's the end of the video.